Hello, everybody. We're back.
Episode 40. 40.
We're back. Yeah, episode 40. Oh, wow. We got there fast, didn't we? It seems like we just started our first episode back in October.
Pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Episode 40.
Well, welcome to Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians. I almost messed that up.
You got it.
History meets the paranormal. So how's everybody doing tonight in the audience?
Hi, everybody.
We got some people in there and say hello to. Hey.
Yeah, filing
Mary
in.
Beth. Yeah, Mary Beth. She was the first in. She was ready.
And
Melissa. Hey, guys.
Melissa's here. And, a couple of people. And, by the way, Adam has a doctor's note tonight. So.
Oh, Adam.
He'll be a little bit late working.
Okay.
We'll let it slide.
Every time he can't come in the audience on time, he has to call up with a doctor's note, and if he can't come, and that's cool, So, Jennie, how was your weekend? I know you guys did. You did go investigating.
I did, of course. I had a real investigation this weekend. At the Van Vechten house, 1725, built in 1725, huge home during the Revolutionary War, really fascinating stuff. And we had a really fun investigation. I love how investigations take on a life of their own, right? Like you never know how it's going to go. You never know how the mood's going to go. And this one was like really relaxed in a good way. So it was really good.
Yeah, a small group of people. That was good.
We had like 5 people. Not a huge house, so that works out really well. Yeah. They're doing renovations, so that was kind of cool to see how that worked out. But the usual, like so many voices. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Activity.
Yeah, as always. I mean, I don't think I've ever left that house without 16 EVPs. I mean, I just feel like there's so many voices in that place, and we've heard music playing, like, where's that coming from? Kind of thing. But so many layers, some of it's from the 1700s and some of it's modern because, hey, it's lasagna.
Yeah. I was going to come up and surprise you guys, but I got a call and ended up watching my grandson for the day. And
that's a big deal.
My ass, a 14-month-old. Yeah, he does a lot of kicking and so he wants to walk now. And it's like with my back, I can't. It's like I'm walking. I have to hold his hand, and it's like I put my back brace on. And it's like I gotta look like a mummy. I gotta wrap up all my body parts just to walk nowadays. So hey, what happens? That happens, old age. So
yes,
Jennie, we got some great guests on tonight.
We do.
And I know Jennie wants to announce these.
I would want to do it anyway, even if I didn't do it every week, because I love these guys so much. So I got to tell you.
Well, Jennie, the fangirl. That's what you put in.
I am going to go there, and I don't care what anyone says, because I am a fan.
She's a fangirl.
I'm a huge fan of these two because I love to learn, and I can count on them every week to teach me something. So they have a marvelous podcast called Paranormal Lens, and they're dear people and wonderful investigators, smart men. Let's bring them on, Chad Thomas and Jamie Widener from Jotnext Paranormal.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you guys tonight?
Hey, everyone.
And now Anthony says he's the eye candy, but, look, now we got you guys on tonight. We got some competition.
Well, there's no competition.
No,
you got it. Before we get started, I want to say something real quick.
Looking good.
You guys don't look a day over 39 episodes, so congratulations on 40.
Oh, yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah.
They're hilarious.
You guys are here for our happy 40th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
We're glad to be here.
We're honored.
They're like, oh, that's nothing.
Well, it is something. Every episode is something.
Yeah.
You know, and we are a little further ahead, not to brag by any means, but you know,
We're
every
a
time
lot further ahead.
I did, you know, zero number, we kind of took a moment to like, how did we get here? You know,
Mhm.
so you got to look back every once in a while. It's like mileposts, you know, look back at where you've come, and you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a pretty long distance. That's something to be proud of. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you for
we
being
always,
here.
we always have some awesome guests, and like you guys, we got awesome guests coming on, and it's so great to chat with people in the field, different people, the different they different techniques and different everything from, and we have authors, and we used to even have historians on, so talking about locations. So we get to talk to a bunch of different people in the field and outside the field, like in history, because we do history also. So
Yeah.
you know that's what great, and then we get to invite it to some of these locations that are awesome. That you know with the history and everything. So I feel privileged, you know, that I get to speak to so many people and like you guys uh, weekly. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah, that's the best part of about doing shows like this is talking to people and getting different experiences, and especially the investigations. Like our team has specific ways of investigating, but every time we get experienced investigators in, we're always learning something new, and that's the best part about it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not techniques,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
equipment. There's all, you know, everybody's got something different, a style, a tactic, you know, just their way.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're lifelong learners, all of us, you
Mhm.
know, some don't choose to be. However, we have the ability to do that. And, you know, if you're not willing to learn and grow, you know, you kind of get flat. So I think I can speak for Chad when I say this, and I think I can speak for my whole team. You know, that's how we want to go forward, is we
Mhm.
want to have that experience where we absorb and we share as well. So, you know, we have a privilege where we get to have a regular reoccurring event at a location that you know, we get to teach people how to do this who've never done it before. And, you know, I think you've been out with public, you know, with groups you don't know everybody in, and we
Mhm.
joke about this a lot, but you know, there's always somebody who comes with someone else who didn't know what they were getting into,
Oh,
right? You know,
yeah,
and
That's for
they
sure.
yes.
they
Yes,
may be a
yes.
little stiff and, you know, a little stoic about it, and perhaps are even honest to say I don't believe in this. And by the end of the evening, they're working their way into the group, and they're doing, you know, they're playing the part of it, and the
hmm
energy picks up because of that. So, you
yeah.
know, it's so funny, but it happens on the regular.
It's always cool to see that couple because you can tell when they walk in
It's
which
always a couple,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
couple that
He's
they
usually
are.
the guy in the couple's like,
Mm-hmm.
you
Uh-huh.
know, he comes in, you go and see the one, and those are the guys I
No, no,
always
I
focus on
agree.
too. The
Yep.
guy
Yep.
comes in and goes like, and they come in, you can see, I said, you're the skeptic.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, I don't believe in this shit. And at the end of the
That,
night, they're like, yeah, there's something to it, maybe. You know,
yeah,
on some
they
guys,
get that
but
look like,
they enjoy themselves. So you give them, just let them have a good time, even if they believe it or not. Just
Yep.
have a good time.
yes,
You know?
yes. Last week we had guests on Jeff Bader, who was
Yeah.
talking about this. My favorite quote from him is, "Everybody needs a scared friend. You got to bring a scared friend with you, because that's the one that you put in the basement, right?" Like suddenly, you know, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm terrified of them, you know,
Right.
kind of thing.
Yep.
So
That takes me to
yeah,
the adage that you don't have to be the fastest one running from the bear. You just can't be the slowest.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why everybody likes hanging out with me, because I know the bear's going to catch me right away.
I think you'd be like hanging out with them and making friends. So, you know, yeah.
that's me. I'm like, I'll go in the basement. Sure. No,
Yeah.
that's me. Everyone's like, "Oh, I left my equipment down there. Can you go get it, Jenny?" Sure.
And you're running down the steps, aren't you?
No, no, no. No, I just like I think I was born without that fear gene. That's a problem. Anyway,
You've gotten this far.
so
You're
we always
fine.
start. Yeah, no, it's a good thing, right?
Yep.
We always start with the same question that everybody asks everybody, but we do have viewers who don't know you. So we want to know, you know, how did you get here? Where did you start? Whoever wants to go first.
Jamie, you take this one first.
I hate when you do this. Boy, that's a great question.
You
So
probably got it down pat by now, the story, right?
well, it's a story, sure. So I'll try to be brief. But
No,
so
don't.
speaking
Come on,
speaking
that's
of
2
the
hours.
Bader brothers, So, they're in Columbia, PA. I am from
Yeah.
Columbia, PA as well. So I grew up literally 3 doors down the street from the Miller Mansion. And,
Oh, wow.
if you've been there, you've both been there. I know that. So,
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
you look at the front of the building, you look left, there's 4 row homes down the street at the end of the block.
Yeah.
I was the first house. So
Oh
I
my
passed
goodness.
by that place every day. And that town of Columbia doesn't have buses. So kids walk to school. And the elementary school is 6 blocks up the street, right past Locust Park. So I had to pass by the building every day. And the bar that was next door, and everything else that was on the way. Back then it was a toy factory. It wasn't, the printing shop wasn't there yet, but it wasn't really running very often. So it was this kind of dark, creepy building. Eventually we moved after a few years to Cherry Street, which is 1 block over to the right when you're looking up Locust Street, into a very old house that was owned by the Hinkle family. And if you've gotten to Columbia, you've probably gone to Hinkle's restaurant.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that family. It was the grandmother of the family. So this really old 1900 big, huge house that had activity. And, as a 7 or 8 year old, I was just a little freaked out every night when you'd hear the steps, went up, they turned again, and hit a big landing in the middle where there were 5 doors. You'd hear the certain steps on the way up creak. So you knew someone was coming. It's like, that was good. That was great for me when I was a teenager and I knew my folks were coming to bed. So, if I was up too late, you could click the light.
But not so good when you're sneaking out.
Well, you knew where to step over as well. So trust me,
Okay.
never got caught that I know of. But when
Well, now
everybody
you
was
are.
in bed, I think I'm going to get by right now, the steps would creak in the middle of the night as well when everybody was well asleep. So, and then doorknobs would rattle in the hallway. So, the old I think they're called block and tackle, something like that. Doorknobs were the big metal things with a block for the key underneath it. So doorknobs would rattle randomly and all. So it kind of always piqued my interest after I realized that it wasn't going to hurt me. So, I'm talking maybe 10 or 12 years old as an interest. And growing up in that house through the rest of my life, we just had experiences all the time. So it's been there for me all along. The opportunity really didn't come until about 6 or 7 years ago when I connected with some friends of mine that I grew up with who ran a team, which is Chronicles Paranormal, which Chad and I are both members of now. Mm-hmm. And it was like my birthday weekend. They had an event over in York, PA. They were doing, it was three different locations. I thought, I'm going to treat myself for my birthday and do this. And I have not looked back since. So been a member of the team ever since. We've been all over the place as far as where we go to investigate. The podcast kind of came from all of that, I guess. Was what else could we do? And we had a partner. It was a 3-seat situation at first, and our partner David Dermidi eventually had to step back from a business interest he was doing. But we planned, and I know you probably did too. It took a long time to get to a place where you really were comfortable with what you were going to present. But we've always been curious individuals. I've always been a curious individual, and I'm speaking for Chad, I guess, too. But we want to know more, we want to do more, and we want to experience stuff that other people are experiencing, so we can share and grow with that. So it all started when I was a kid, and I'm old now, so no plan on stopping anytime soon.
I know.
That's
got a way cooler story than me. That's why you let me go first.
I love that story. But Mary Beth wants to know, was it the same time every night that you heard the rattling and the steps?
Not always, but regularly, yes. Like you could tell, I could always tell when it was a weekend because it wouldn't happen as regularly than it would during the weekdays. And I was raised by grandparents who worked at dark early in the morning. So they were in bed by 7 or 8 o'clock. So I'm talking, when I say later in the evening, I'm talking like 10 or 11. So, the residualness of that, I didn't realize what residual was back then, but, looking back on it, I certainly can see how it would have been that current activity of somebody coming to bed basically, or coming, check on their kids, whatever. Maybe that's why the other doors would rattle. But and my room, their room was beside mine, which was a master, had a fireplace, they got the better room, of course. But, all the rooms were large rooms. So I don't know if they were all intended to be bedrooms. I would have to assume so. But even the bathroom door would rattle. So go figure.
Oh, wow.
I definitely can, that's a great question to see, because that's looking at how we investigate now, the things we look for now, the patterns and the irregularities. I would definitely have seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, looking back, it must look
Back then,
completely
yeah.
different.
Back
Mhm.
then, I know when all the way back then with investigating stuff, a lot of stuff that we know now, we didn't realize back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Have you
Yeah.
been back there? Do you still go there?
No, sadly, I haven't been there since 97 or 98, something like that. My grandfather passed, my grandmother passed in 92, and he passed in 97. So the house was sold. And
Mhm.
last time I was there, I was just collecting things and getting stuff out.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you this though, and this you can, next time you're in Columbia, you can find this easily. So at the corner of Second and Cherry Street, and Second Street is the street at the top of where the mansion is, where my haunted manor is. The corner is a very old, was at least my time, a very old Methodist church. It's a big white building. The church left, and it was then occupied and still is by a Buddhist temple.
Okay.
So the house got sold again. The Buddhists eventually bought it, and now it's part of this big property. So it's, for me, it's this classic old house with big porch and big red brick thing, and it's got all these flags out front, which is in celebration of the temple. So it's
kind of
totally different than anything I ever lived in.
Yeah,
It's
but
so cool.
not a bad thing. I mean, it's not like it got knocked down or burned
No,
down or
no.
became a
Right.
crack house. Like it became
Well,
a
and
temple.
those things could still happen. I don't know, but I doubt it. Yeah, I've always thought I should go back and just knock on the door and see if they'll let me in. So
They
And I
might
might-
even
They
do
do.
that.
I might have a
They will.
box of baseball cards stashed in the one floor in the bedroom under the floorboard. So I don't remember
Worth
what
a lot of
happened.
money.
Maybe
We should check it out, Jamie.
we got to go now. I said it out loud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they bought all those flags with.
That's how they get flags aren't cheap,
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, so some
I
baseball
know.
flags, get a flag.
No,
So-
equipment's not cheap. Nothing's cheap.
Nothing
Exactly.
is. Right.
So it's,
Okay, Chad Thomas, you're up.
So my story is a lot like Jamie's. I grew up south of Gettysburg, about 7 miles south of Gettysburg, in a house that definitely had activity. Actually, just did an episode, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, Jamie,
Yeah.
on it. So I'm not going to go into all the details. It's all there, but the one thing that I remember growing up is the same sort of activity Jamie had was the steps every night, and ours was the same time every night. It was about 10:20 or 10:40 or 11:20, 11:40, depending on daylight savings time, because the spirit world doesn't operate on daylight savings time. So every night at the same time,
Nobody likes
we could hear somebody. The steps each step had a sound, and you could hear someone walking up the steps around the upstairs hallway into the room that I shared with my brother, and it freaked me out as a kid. And over time I learned to shut it out. And I think because of that, it took me a long time to figure out how to get back into this. I work in theater. So I worked in a couple of theaters and had several experiences in theaters over the years. But I was really interested in getting back into this. And Jamie and I, we have an interesting relationship, I'll leave it at that. But for my 50th birthday, Jamie's like, we're doing an investigation. The team's doing a public investigation. Why don't you come out for your birthday and see what you think? And I came out, and I never stopped coming. They eventually
never ever left. It's amazing.
They eventually
That's
said,
what
do you want to join the team? You're here all the time. Would you stop buying tickets and just join us? And that's what I did. And it's been a great experience for me. It helped. I'm still learning how to reopen that door. Because I know I'm sensitive because I've always been an empath, and I never shut that out. But it's interesting how we can shut other parts of it out, and it takes a lot of work to open it back up.
Right.
And it's interesting because 2 of my kids are also sensitive.
Oh,
and-
interesting.
And they're like, we'll go to my dad's house because my dad still owns the house. He still lives there. And like my Alex will walk through, he goes, there's something going on in that room. and we can
Wow.
definitely, and he's actually seen a face in the one window. It's a really interesting story, but he's actually seen the face. So, but it's interesting how it's it goes through the family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been a great experience. But that's how I got here, and now I'm hooked, and I'm not going to go back.
Yeah, of course not.
I don't know how we can get rid of him at this point. So
Yeah, no, I know Anthony can relate to that. I started following him around. I followed him around for a while, and he was just like, oh, fine.
Yep.
Fine,
you
just stay.
That's awesome.
That's actually true.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's that. So that's interesting that your kids have it, and that are they both are any of them mediums, or are they sensitive like you?
I think. Well, it's Alex is in his 20s, and Emmy is 16. So I'm not sure where Emmy's going with things yet, but Alex is just sensitive.
Okay.
But he's definitely he sees things more than I do, like visually sees things.
Interesting.
Does he draw? Can he draw?
No, he didn't. Well, no, I don't think he can. So,
Because
but
I do spirit art,
okay.
and when I draw, and a lot of times that I see things and I draw it, people verify, say that's what it, that's what we see or whatever, or they pull out a picture later on, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's like it looks just like this picture and you drew.
Right.
Right.
I mean, because sometimes I know, because I'm a sensitive too. I've been doing this since I was sensitive. So 3 years old, my first experience to now and everything. And for years, nobody believes it because people like you believe them when they say it. But I come from an era where nobody believed that you couldn't talk about it and everything else, And so I used to draw it, and sometimes that by drawing it, it got it off my chest. That because a lot of people hold it in until they get somebody, then they could talk to them. But sometimes that doesn't take 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So by drawing it or just writing down what you got and stuff, it takes it off your chest too. So not everybody believes it.
Yeah, it's funny how there's like a taboo when it comes to the paranormal, still, and there certainly was, and I agree with you 100%. There was this, we didn't talk about it in public, and but once you start, well,
right, like
right, it's you're just weird. You're one of those people, and okay, whatever. I think it's driven by fear of the unknown that people have, or the belief that that if you talk about it, something's going to happen to you. Like some automatic thing happens. And, nowadays the world's changed. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Like you're opening a door, right.
Yeah,
that you don't know how to close. Correct.
And all of a sudden, you're bad, all the bad juju is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I can't tell you how many times somebody's like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? And I'm like, oh, I went and did this. I went and did that, like just conversationally, like not expecting them to know, like, oh my gosh, you do that. Like you see a difference now. There's an acceptance and because there's 6,000 shows, right? There's 5,000 podcasts and some thousand more of other mediums, ways to connect.
Yeah.
It's not mainstream yet per se, but we're not in the shows anymore either. So I think that's a really good thing. And the world's changed in such a better way. And it allows people who have had experiences to talk about them more so. And, I'll say this because, I think we stumbled on something recently that I'd like to pursue more. We went out to the Crescent Paracon. The Crescent Sanatorium had a Paracon this year, and the first one you'd done. We had intentionally it was originally going to be us as the podcast and Jotniks as the team in a 10 by 20 booth, so 2 10 by 10s essentially. Things changed, the team couldn't make it, so we had 10 by 20 to ourselves. So we got a pop-up that size, and I found some pop-up couches that we could take, and we set up a lounge that in 10 feet of that section where we had a table with the show running, some episodes downloaded so folks could see what we do. But anybody who was willing to come and sit with us, we just asked them about their story. Why were they there? What drew them in? And once you start asking people, tell them it's okay, first of all, to tell us whatever they want, people start talking. And they tell us amazing things. And we met some really cool people.
We talked to a 14-year-old girl who's been
Yeah.
having experiences for 7 years, Jamie, probably from the sounds of it. I mean,
Yep.
it went way
lot.
back. And she talked to us for probably an hour just with stories and us explaining stuff to her and then it making sense. It was a great conversation. And it was funny how many people we had a group that didn't believe, but they go to all these events, but they don't investigate. They don't because they don't believe. It was just a really interesting group of people. So
Had a whole family who liked to go to Paracons, but didn't like to go to investigations. It's like, okay, I'm sure that the event appreciates your patronage for sure. And
No,
and
for sure. And I saw pictures of you guys there. I mean, we had a similar experience at the Hollow, which is a small Paracon that we're going to do again this year in Boonton, New Jersey. And we had a young woman come up to us with her mom, and she was like, I never told anyone this. And it was like the floodgates opened. And it was so wonderful because, like, Anthony, I have to tell you, is like one of the best people for this because I'm not a sensitive. I don't see anything. I'm like the opposite of a sensitive. I think I have a lot of empathy. Like you're an empath. I wouldn't say that about myself. I do like to put myself in the shoes of people. Like I'll stand at the window and say, what was it like to live here? What was it like to have to worry about losing my children? What was it like to be sick? That kind of thing. But I have no degree of sensitivities. But when she started talking to Anthony, and I mean, just the floodgates open. So similar age too, like 16, 15, kind of thing. So, I mean, you do a great service by listening to people like that. I feel like.
Especially children, especially kids.
I do. I think you did a great thing that day.
Cryptic and Paranormal, Paracon, and in Jersey, and I've been showing my spirit art. That's what I've been doing a lot of my stuff.
Okay.
I had all my spirit art and displays and stuff. And I had a girl come up to me. She must have been about 8, 9 years old. She comes up to me with the dad. She starts telling me about, how she sees things and stuff like that. And the dad's like,
yeah,
oh, here it goes again. And she just let it go. And she's telling me about how things in her room and the closet door opens and stuff like that. So I told the dad, don't dismiss her. Just play along. Just talk to her about it. But don't put it down for it, The dad's like, yeah, okay. But I don't know what the dad did after that. But yeah, when you get to the kids, it's good.
The girl we talked to was actually the daughter of one of the food vendors. So she was just there because but it was great. So
I got to come clean. We got really lucky. So it was an outdoor event originally. There was weather coming, and they gave us a choice being inside or outside. Because of the size of the booth, we decided to stay outside, and we got to pick our own place then. Like there was no assigned slots, like how a lot of places have you marked off. You're here in this, So
yes,
we just pulled up and thought, okay, we're on this corner here. This looks pretty good. And then 20 minutes after we got set up, the food truck rolled in and parked really right next to us. So we couldn't have gotten better if we wanted to. As far as and of course, people are walking. There's no place to sit, anywhere, and it's hot. So we're under shade, and we have couches, So people came, like they were sitting in the grass and like, hey, come and sit with us. Well, let's chat, and it just drew people in automatically. So we got really lucky.
With that Michelle, that was that. Oh, you just great.
Yeah, and the people from Dark Hollow who were running the event, they loved we talked to a couple of people and they loved what we were doing, and they're like, we want you to come to a couple other events. So I think it opened the door, and nice. It definitely has spawned some thought for us and for some other people. So
how can we do this better and more? And it's all engagement. That's the important thing. And the teenager we talked to, she didn't know where to go with things. And it's a simple thing to say this. But I say it to a lot of people is get yourself a journal, get yourself a notebook, start documenting with the experiences you're having, when they happen, what they are, days, times, whatever, the best way you can. Keep a log of it. And
even on your phone, I tell them, if you don't like writing it down, just open up your phone and dictate it.
Yep.
Younger people. The people that
I'm old by asking for paper, right? So
I still have a notebook,
paper and pen.
But Yeah,
pencil.
but still, I mean, that's if you got to do that, do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Record
I
yourself.
The patterns
I
and
love
trends.
that idea.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you prove it's not just in your head. You're seeing, you're documenting it, so it's
Mhm.
real. And if you
If
share it with
people
others and who are
draw,
there,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
drawing the
So
same thing, right?
listen, next year we'll have to go.
What I just tell them, draw. If you can't draw a stick figure, and just next to that, the color of the hair, the eye color. If you could visualize all those different things, just put it, next to a stick figure. So
Yep.
you could refer back to that and say, "This is what I seen," and then you say, "Yeah, the hair, the eyes, yes, write it down." And I always like write down the time if it's at nighttime, if you're in bed,
Yep.
the time.
Mhm.
I even like write down what's the weather outside, the temperatures, the moon phase, if you know that,
That's a good
Mhm.
idea.
sometimes
Yeah.
that has something to do with everything. A lightning storm might bring something because the electric in the air and everything. So yeah,
Yep.
Sure. Totally agree with all of that. If nothing else, you have it for your own peace of mind. That
Yeah,
way you can track it, and it's just you'll know what's going on, and whether anyone believes you or
exactly.
not or hears you, whether you choose to share it or not, it's up to you. I mean, people keep diaries, still to this day, and whether they're digital or paper, it's the same idea. It's your expression.
yeah,
Yep.
and
I love that
that's great.
advice. I
I do
love
the
it.
same thing with that. You know, I agree with you everything you're saying, Jerry. Because
Yeah.
it seems like you're saying the same thing. When I talk to people and stuff like that. Because the kids
Yeah. He's
kids are
just
always
like I sit in the back and he just talks to the masses. He's the talker. I'm the shy one, but he's the talker.
you're a shy
So
one.
guys, how did your podcast start?
We lost the
Like,
bet.
what was the catalyst to get?
You lost the bet.
No,
Oh,
well,
oh man,
No, okay.
No.
That's how Jennie
Kidding.
got stuck with me.
no.
that is no. He lost a bet.
It's one of those things that even before I got to join the team, they were talking about we need to do a podcast. We need to do a podcast, and it was like nobody was really motivated to do it. And we had tried something before Paranormal Lens. There was a short run of what was called Coffee Talk with Jotniks, and it was just we brought the team members in, and we had a panel, and we were just talking about investigations, and it didn't take off. I don't know, just team membership changed, and three of us, Jamie, David, and I, sort of decided it was something we really wanted to do. We had talked to Daryl Marstrom,
Yep.
and he gave us some ideas, and I think that was sort of the catalyst, right, Jamie? That investigation.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
at the brewery
that's
for an
great.
event, and we cornered him afterwards when he was in the corner, like
He's
literally in the corner.
perfect to talk to you about that because I mean we had him on last week. It's so funny
Yeah.
that we're all talking about this. He that's that was his thing.
Mhm.
That's how he became well known was his podcast, which I enjoyed. So great person to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great
And
podcaster too.
and
his advice was really this: it was don't suck. So we tried not to ever since.
yeah.
I love his advice. No, he gives really good advice. He's like, just say it, get it all out there.
Mhm.
Like don't hold back. Just say what you want to say.
Yep.
And do what you want to do. And I think that's great advice. Anyway.
Yeah. So we
so
started
do you-
meeting. We started meeting in January, and by April we had enough of an idea, and well, we had an idea, and
Let's be clear, we met at the brewery as well. So
yeah.
some of these meetings are a little
I
gray.
love it.
But David, David was the first one up, and I remember he did Ogopogo, and he hit it out of the park, and it's like, oh great, now we got to step up to that.
Right.
And ever since then, so he set the bar pretty high for us, and we've been trying to reach that, and it's just, but it was natural. The three of us worked together well,
Yep.
and one subject matter expert, and the other two were talking about what they learned, and it was great, and that's how we that's how we got started.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You need a
it was-
good system like that. You need a good formula. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You need the formula. Like with us, we do have a third as well, who's on a little hiatus because she's a veterinarian doing horse racing right now. But Kimm is our third in our podcast, and she's a location medium, and it works. It just works. You know, like we're totally different people, but when you get the formula down, it works.
Yep.
So I hear that. I really do. I feel that. How did you come up with the name?
a lot of spaghetti on the wall.
Yeah.
A whole lot of different ideas, just what could it be? I don't recall who actually came up with the title, but it was conversation after, like, okay, what about this? And we'd let it sit for a while, like give it a day or two, let it stick with you, see if you like it or not. And then yes, no, maybe. And then, it kind of got pared down from a longer list to a short list. And then we just landed there.
Right. And we were really surprised that it wasn't out there. Like we looked and nobody had used it. And I'm like, well, that's fitting then. We'll go with that. And
you're like, bingo.
Yeah.
So it's called Paranormal Lens for those of you who haven't heard of it, who don't watch it every week like me.
Oh,
yes. Paranormal Lens on Tuesday nights.
Yep. That's the only problem.
I know, but that's okay because you can watch it anytime, which I do.
Yep.
So how did you come up with the format for it? Like being very educational. Are you teachers? Any of you?
no.
Because you really come across like that in a good way. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're very good teachers.
Appreciate that.
I think well, for me at least, and I could speak probably for Dave and Chad, as teammates, that we wanted to present something we would want to hear ourselves, and the way we'd want to get it. And that kind of is where we took off from. I don't know that we had an exact plan of how we were going to go until we went and like the first episode happened. We talked a lot about it, but until you go live, you don't know what you're going to get. And again, we go back to David's first episode. Ogopogo was personal for him. He's been out to Lake Okanagan in British Columbia, and he's been on the shore, and he's very interested in cryptids. And it was a good place to start because he knew the history. He did the research. He's on site to see it. And so it was a touch point that we wouldn't have gotten if we just chose that topic. So it really helps. That, and we as subject matter experts, we trade each episode now, and one hosts and the other listens and comments, and we discuss. So we pick things that we want to talk about. It's not just out of the hat and therefore you're stuck with it. Like your friends put your name in for karaoke.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna get what you get.
Yeah.
We choose the songs that we're gonna sing, so it helps a lot there. And it makes it more personal for each of us as we discuss that topic.
Yep.
Right, because it's near and dear to your heart, right?
Yeah.
Like or
exactly. An interest anyway. At least something that interests you. It's it's not a cold subject for you.
Yeah, and occasionally we'll get I don't want to say a challenge, but we'll get a subject from our viewers, and we'll go with that too. I mean, and it may not be something we've thought of before. There were a couple that I've never heard of that, but we'll go with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And sometimes they're just as interesting because we're learning at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I would think you're learning every week at the same time, even if it's something you already know about, because you really do a deep dive.
Well, thank you. It's again, it's how would you want to hear it in our from us? How would you want to be presented? Have it presented to you? And I think that's just we kind of click on that. And David's again set the bar pretty high. We've been reaching for that bar ever since that first episode. But that's the way it just kind of worked out.
Mm-hmm. Now the first couple episodes we recorded and then aired later, and then when we took that step and went live, it was like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
there's no net at that point.
Exactly, but
but
it changed it and made it a little bit better because it was live, and you had to work with what you did. So
and it's interactive.
Mm-hmm.
And
you got people like me in the audience going, and what about this? And how about this? And like, annoying people like me asking 80 questions.
Well, that leads to more of that opens the door more wider.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we don't think of everything when we come to a topic. There are the good questions. The intentional questions always expand the conversation, and that makes it more. The interaction is really important for us. We have nights when we don't have a whole lot of it. The subject goes faster, which is probably good because we got jobs and stuff to go to in the morning. But I'd rather run long than run short in that sense, because we're interacting with others who are in the episode with us and guests and so forth. But it's never not something we look forward to. Like, I want people to engage with us.
Right.
And we miss you, by the way, we miss you. So.
Oh, I know. I miss you guys so much. It's not the same. I have to say, it's not. I enjoy watching.
I can say this. Well, let me say this. I'm really happy for you guys, and the success that you're having with your show, and it's, we can ask you the same question. How did you get here? It's not a spur of the moment decision to launch a podcast. It's a business venture to some degree, right? And, you have a lot of ducks to line up, and it's a lot of work. And that's the thing nobody sees, because we try to make it look effortless on this side, on the camera side, but on the back end, we're weeks ahead in planning. We have the schedule we present, that who's coming or what's coming, but the research of it has to start long before then. And you can tell.
Oh, really, Jamie?
Together.
It's not just the Friday night before.
It's not the Monday night of, right?
It's like,
the Tuesday afternoon at work.
That's due tomorrow. Those slides are due tomorrow.
Famous words from Thomas Jefferson, right?
You have to get the guests, and then you make sure they come, and then when they, and you really, we're booked until like September, because I stopped it because we're going to Gettysburg. I want to book some more people in September, So we're booked months and months ahead, and then when the week comes before, you got to see if they're still coming on your show, and then we have people cancel like the last Tuesday that they
not many.
Something happened.
Thank goodness.
Like, now what are we going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
So then you have to come up with something quick, and then you're shuffling around. So but something, we enjoy it. We enjoy it as much as we got to work so hard to keep it going.
We look forward to it.
We enjoy it. Jennie does all the research on everything, and I do what I got to do, and then Kimm, when she comes, she does hers. And
she's the fan favorite, Kimm. He's the eye candy. She's the fan favorite. I'm telling you.
I was really looking forward to hearing what Kimm had to say about her place, but some other time. So.
Summertime, is rough for her. She's got to take care of those horses. She's
a veterinarian for horses, and she works for the tracks. So now the tracks are open, and this is that time of year. This is that big time of year. Going into like September or October. So,
speaking of that, this is just a fun thing. Did you hear one of the horses got away at Monmouth Racetrack the other day?
No.
He was involved in this whole thing. One of the horses got out, and it was like on the side of the road, like a highway, and they had to catch it. I was like, what just happened?
How does that happen?
Really, I guess it knew where it lived. Like, she said, it was amazing. It was making all the right turns and stuff like that. Like, I was like,
trying to go home.
Thank goodness the horse was okay. No horses were harmed.
Well, that's good.
But she's a location medium. So you're like, she could take a picture that you sent. She could take one of the pictures you sent, and we never tell her. We are like sworn to secrecy. Like, if we tell you, we have to kill you. We never tell her who's coming on and what the location will be until that night. And she's so anxious that night. She's like, tell me. Like, where is it? But she's incredible.
I don't put down location. I just put down who's going to be on the show, and I put the location. I was like, location be told on the show.
Yeah.
She has no ideas, and that's as good what she has. So
that's such a cool
you guys
idea.
sent some evidence stuff that you want us to play.
Before we segue there, let me help segue. So the horse made me think of something that happened to me, actually. The brewery's in Mountjoy, PA. I live technically in Mountjoy, although I don't. like, you know how you have that kind of rural area around a town.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to
Okay.
pass through like back roads to get there. I'm about 10 minutes out, so I'm not far, but I passed by a farm. And one evening I was going over to an investigation, and I come up around the bend, and right smack in the middle of the road is a cow
Oh no.
just standing there, hanging out. And it looks at me, I'm looking at it. I'm creeping up thinking if I get close enough, it's going to move. Not moving. So
No
I'm like
way.
going like, move. I'm leaning out the window, mooing at it like it's going to help because I speak cow. Apparently.
Right? Because that's what we do, right?
We do.
That's what we
right?
do.
Mm-hmm.
Chad's laughing. Like he's got the mental picture.
Yeah,
Chad's
yeah.
got the mental
It's
picture
really
of
sad.
Jamie mooing
I'm
at
not
the
going to hit
cat.
this cow or anything, but I'm like, dude, you got to get out. It's not safe. Get out of the way. And then cars coming the other way. The guy's driving off on the side of the road, in the grass to get around it. So I'm like, well, I guess that's my way. So I did this, and I pulled down to the farmhouse, and there's a big party going on. And I say to the guy, like the first person I meet, hey, do you know he's like, are you here for the cow? I'm not here for it. I'm here. And it's a wedding party, and this is the person at the wedding. He's like, look, we know. Like I'm bothering him now. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. The farmhands are coming down. I thought you were him. Like somebody's coming from the farm.
You were the farmer.
I look like a farmer apparently, which is cool. All right, whatever. But
Evidently, Farmer Jamie.
I
Oh my
got in
gosh,
the car
what
and
a
kept
good
going.
story. I love it.
But
I guess
Brewery,
Pennsylvania.
it's what we do.
Rural areas.
Yep.
I have Amish neighbors. Really,
Yep.
I'm not Amish. I swear. Even though this is what we look like, all the Amish folks.
You look
I
like
tell
an
people
Amish
when you travel, you ask people ask where you're from. I say I'm from Amish country. Oh, are you Amish? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But
no, but I speak cow.
I speak cow.
I speak fluent cow.
Fluent.
I'm taking notes for our next show.
Oh, you definitely are.
The subject.
You definitely are.
Lost cows and horses.
I know you guys have locations that we're going to talk about, but I just have one more quick question, if that's okay, Anthony, about their podcast. Just a quick one. What's your favorite so far? Do you have a favorite episode?
Jennie.
I know, but I do.
You're not going to get gas for the next ones.
I have a couple. I have like 2 or 3, but can you name like some of your favorites?
Sure.
Well, we did an episode on this, so it's sort of easy to remember.
Yeah, it is.
I think one of my favorites is the one I did on my dad's house.
Yes.
I think that's
no
probably
spoilers. Yeah, I love that one too because it's so personal.
Mm-hmm. There's so many good ones, so I'm just gonna leave it at that one.
I love the one with the Japanese ghosts.
You're right.
Yep.
Well,
because we had guests from Japan on our show live.
Oh wow!
Yeah, from Spooky Japan, and that was fascinating. And I referred to your show so much. Things I learned in your show.
Uh-huh.
So thank you.
Thank
Cool.
you. That's
I know, fangirl. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, Jennie was wearing kimono.
I was not.
Her hair was up in a bun with
my hair. Yeah,
play the part.
All my hair.
She played the part.
Because I look Japanese, like Swedish Japanese.
I had sushi the other day.
All right, well, it's close.
Yeah.
It's like when I was down in Tampa not too long ago. I passed by a place that said New York style Chinese food on their sign. So
Interesting.
Okay. Okay.
You get sushi everywhere. So Chinese food's everywhere.
You can get in the gas station if you want too.
Oh, Jamie's got a fan.
Oh no. Well, there's a bit of a story on this. So real quick, I had the pleasure this weekend of going with Heather and Bert, her husband, and Kaya, their daughter, along with, I believe you guys know Todd and Carmela Cocotalo, Dos Cocos. We all went to Wilson Castle this weekend.
Yes.
And it's the first time I've gotten to hang out with Kaya for a while because I've not seen her in a couple of years. But she is
a place too.
Well, it is.
Beautiful.
Stories to tell. But fantastic kid, sensitive as well, and really good investigative skills. She's going to be in the field for a long time, and she's really funny too. So I had a wonderful time with everybody. If anybody gets a chance to go up there, Rutland, Vermont is the nearest town with amenities, and they have a Saturday morning farmers market, fantastic. I recommend it. The Friday night we were there was a town fair or festival of some kind, and there was like music and entertainment and all kinds of vendors and stuff. We just really stumbled into something cool. And then anybody who goes to Vermont in the summer knows maple soft serve ice cream is the thing. So I gained like 17 pounds from the gallon or two that I ate. But, but
usually
the
we
castle
talk
did
about
not
cannoli
disappoint.
on this show, but that sounds better. Can we talk about cannoli? And what we have a little drinking game we didn't tell you about. When you say cannoli, you drink. So
Drink. Cheers.
But in this case, maple ice cream is
cannoli with a side of maple ice cream might be all right.
Oh my God. And Wilson Castle is stunning. You had a nice time?
Oh, fantastic day.
Stunning.
Evening.
Looking out over that lawn, I could just, be the lady of the house.
I could sit on that veranda forever and literally just enjoy every second of it.
Yep. Beautiful
two
place.
things happened there that I've never had happen before. One is I was asked to leave a room. And in years and years and years of investigating, it's never happened. It's happened to others I've been around, but it's never happened to me. We were asked to leave. I was asked to leave the ballroom. So I went over to the tower and sat by myself for a while and did my own thing. And at the end of the night, we were asked to leave. We were told we could leave by call and response to some activity. And we had 2 dead bells and a REM pod, a yes bell, a no bell, and then the REM pod was maybe for response. And clear as day, do you want us to go back, leaving, go back to our hotels? The yes bell rang almost immediately. So some fantastic stuff, much other thing. I haven't had time to even look at evidence yet. I got back late Sunday night, here we are Tuesday.
It's
so
far.
No time here. It's going to take some time this week, but I've seen some other clips of stuff, and I know, from others who were with us between the Cocos and the Lynches. So
the dead bell, the famous dead bell, the Cocos.
Yeah. And there was a bat. So
I love it.
Todd's aversion to bats continued from Tala to here. So.
I got smacked with a bat. Oh, yeah. Did you hear about the Tala bat? We'll talk about Tala. I got it caught in my hoodie.
Right.
I got caught inside the hood and scratched the back of my neck. It was awful.
Oh, yeah. Well, the poor bat, too. Like, you think about it. Like, it didn't try to get there.
That's what I said. Thank you for saying that. I was like, the poor thing. It was so scared.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw the video of him being dive bombed about 15 minutes prior to this incident, which he got buzzed again, and the language is not appropriate.
Oh, that bat. Okay, it's Tala. I know what you're talking about now. Oh my God!
The screaming at Tala was what I saw. Then this bat made up for it.
One of the funniest moments ever of them getting dive bombed by bats, and they had nowhere to go, and they didn't know what to do, and. Of course, your instinct is to shine the flashlight, but that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
It was just a comedy of errors, but anyway.
Yeah.
Sky puppies. I love it. Anyway, we digress. We digress. We came here to talk about some locations. Sorry, Anthony.
I'm just here to listen.
I know. I could listen to them all night. So yeah, last night on their show they played that video with the bats.
Yeah, you've seen it then. Good.
I was there.
I was sitting in the kitchen with Carmela, and we both looked at each other. Like, my thought was, is he hurt, or is there harm happening? And then she looked at me, and then we realized it was the bat, and we both went, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
But Wilson Castle has a lot of bats. I got smacked in the shoulder by one. Kimm always says she's the lucky one on the show because she's has a vaccine for rabies. So she's like, haha.
Yeah. I'm sorry I missed that trip. So.
No, there's going to be another time.
All right.
Yeah, there's always other times.
Yep.
That's a repeat. Definitely a repeater for me.
So,
and actually, I have a question for you. So, when you guys go out, you're in the field, right? As much as anybody. When you go to places, do you rate, like, to yourself at least, would I come back or not? There are places I've been that I don't think I need to go back. And there are places that I want to go back or do go back to on a regular basis, as much as my time and finances allow, because nothing's free, unfortunately. And it shouldn't be, by that matter. But, I always wonder, or where's your place? Where's the place you want to go? You haven't been, or where's the place you want to go because you love it there?
God knows I know what Anthony's is. Go for it, Anthony.
Well,
what's your place?
I like a lot of places, but the Shanley Hotel.
Okay.
He could live there.
I mean, yeah.
He could go every weekend, and he could live there.
Yeah.
See, That's my White Hill mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go there every weekend and investigate.
Chad, that's a good as answer as any. And I agree with that. But yeah, I have mine too, but that's a good one. I mean, I would definitely go to White Hill every weekend if I could.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Good one.
places to go to. I mean,
I
Tala
have a
was one
couple.
of my favorites. You know,
Mhm.
the White Hill's my favorite to stay and go all the time. But Tala, when I went there, that's like one of the more that night. I had more activity I had going on there. I mean, I got stuff on video and audio. I got a bunch of different stuff going on. I would say Tala would be like one of my places I would like to go back to again and
Mhm.
again. You know,
Let's talk about that because you guys just went just before us, right?
Yeah, we're
Did
back
you
in
go
April.
just before?
Yeah. Tala,
And
yep.
we went May. Yeah, I can't
Mhm.
remember. That's so
How time
funny. You went
flies.
just a couple of weeks before us. I mean, Anthony has been before, and had a lot of
a couple
activity.
years ago.
Things thrown at him, not by me this time.
Yeah, I got it on video too.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and stuff.
You see it like go across.
I caught it on my body cam. I have my regular camera.
Uh-huh.
Walking into one of the rooms. I'm totally by myself. There's a section not too far from where they did the lobotomies, right in that
Yeah.
area. I
Mhm.
was walking into a room and I got hit in the chest with something. So you hear something hit me. I'm going, oh, something just hit me. And I'm looking around, thinking a chip, something fell off the ceiling, whatever, or a bug. I'm looking around, nothing. So I go home and then I do the review. And I had a body cam on. I didn't realize I had a body cam on. You see something coming up, and you could hear the hit. I said, something just hit me, and go back down. And it looked like a
Thud.
stick or something.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's one of my places I would like. I would go back there a couple times. You know, but if it was so far, if it wasn't so far, I'd be there a lot more too.
Yeah.
But that's
You know?
it's so big. There's so many areas to investigate.
Oh.
You can't do it in one night or even two. It's like you need a week there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You do. I always tell people as big as you think it is, it's bigger. It's bigger. And then when you think it's bigger, it's bigger. Like
Mhm.
there's just no way to explain the size of that place.
When there's so many rooms that you can go into and just spend time in, and each room's going to have its own story
Yep.
because of
Yeah.
what happened there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one night I went there was unbelievable. I got screaming on I get on the audio of my camera.
Yeah.
Right, I'm a big video person. I got my night vision cameras and all cameras hanging from me and everything. And I got screaming. I'm walking and you could hear something like running up behind me. I spun my camera and it was like nothing there and was screaming, something running up on me getting hit by stuff, equipment going off, and I'm asking, can you stop that? And it stops automatically.
mhm.
You know, so much stuff that happened there from shadows and everything. I got choked out on the one floor. I was on the third floor, and something
Again, not by me.
like choking me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't throw it.
And we had a group of people there, and I had my camera and I had it on a tripod. So I was carrying up the stairs, and I put it down. It felt like something was choking me, and we just came from the room with that boy. What do you call it? They killed him.
With Dean?
Dean's
is
room.
that his
Dean's
name?
room.
Yes, Dean's room. We just came from
Yeah.
there, and it felt like something was choking me as I got to the top of the stairs. So here goes Cocos, Dos Cocos.
Mhm.
Yeah, the bat video, it never gets old. And one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And we watched it when we were there. Actually, we went to one of the hotel rooms and hooked it up to the TV to watch it. I mean, it was that funny, but it really was.
So
We had a whistling that
Yeah.
followed us through the whole facility.
Everywhere.
Oh, cool.
And it wasn't like wind whistling because that's sort of a single tone. This was like a dual tone whistle, like somebody was trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Really?
Oh, not like
We were-
musical, like
No.
No.
Okay.
It started when we were in the hydrotherapy wing and
Yep.
room, and that's it's got windows facing to the large lot at the front.
Yes.
And then as we moved down to the end of the hall, and actually upstairs even, there's a lot of windows that are missing. So I was thinking maybe it's something outside, and there's a bar over on the main street that the door opened every once in a while, but that was clearly like jukebox music, real music. It wasn't someone just whistling. And then as you move up to the fourth floor on the other end of the building, it's there too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like somebody going, just simple, like just somebody saying, hey, and it literally followed us around in the Civil War wing. We heard it down there.
Yep.
It's just, I can't explain it. And it's on every audio evidence we have all the way through the building. So
Oh, it is.
for
Okay.
7
So
hours.
you heard it out loud, but you also recorded it.
Yep.
Wow. Nice. That's pretty
The Civil
cool.
War wing, we heard whistling too, but we didn't catch it on audio.
That's right.
Interesting.
I was
Okay.
with Chris
That's
Allgood
right.
and Audra in
Mhm.
there, and we heard whistling, but we didn't. We played back. We didn't hear anything on audio, but we did hear something like that in the Civil War area.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's
That-
it.
Yeah.
that-
I mean,
you're right
places
though,
like
Anthony.
this-
I could live there too. So, like you'd probably never have the same experience twice, with as much
Oh yeah,
space as
there's
there
so
is
much
in the
stuff
buildings.
going on there because how many people have been out and through there,
Mhm.
different generations, different things from
Yeah.
soldiers
Yeah.
to patients and everything else. So yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
we went
It was
there with
once
during a
in a
thunderstorm
lifetime.
too. So that was the cool part about it. Not to being, it was there during a thunderstorm. You see the lightning going off with everything. It's like
Mm.
this is like I said, this is a dream come true, man. Haunted location like this, and with a lightning storm and thunder is like right out of the movies. It was great.
Mm.
My favorite was Kreischer Mansion. If one that I could go back to every week. And we're not doing. I don't think they're doing investigations currently.
Yeah, I
there.
don't know. Taking
I think they stopped. But that would have been one I could have investigated every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
I got some more stuff.
That one's haunted AF, as they say. And I don't say that about a lot of places, but yeah. But I do enjoy the Revolutionary War stuff too. And we're so blessed in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, especially I think more New Jersey and New York, like the Hudson Valley. So much Revolutionary War history.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
We do got evidence. I'd like to try.
Yes. Let's not.
The night's over.
I know we got. Well, this is one of those that could be a 4-hour episode. So let's go. I know. That's me with the train. I apologize.
I'm going to play some audio
Okay.
that you just send us, but our speakers don't get mute on it, so you just have to just listen. And
Everybody, put your volume up because StreamYard is a bit quiet. Why don't you? Do you have a label on it or no?
I got some labels. Why?
Okay. If not, I was going to say we could play it and then play it again and again.
Is there any particular one that you want to play, or?
No, we can.
Let's roll. We'll figure it out.
Just roll it.
Okay, this is the first.
We can wing
one.
it.
Okay, that one actually there's another one labeled Ani.
Yeah.
Can you play that one, Anthony?
Annie?
Yep. And I'm going to mute my.
Okay, here we go.
You knock on the wall or set off the music box. Did you hear that?
Yeah. What's that?
That sounded like a young voice, like a kid's voice.
Yeah.
Okay, that one right after I think he said music box or there was a real quiet thing, and then that's what you had played. I looped it 3 times, and that's what we played first. But that was actually a voice that they heard with their own ears. It was a disembodied voice.
I love those.
Oh, okay. So this is the first one, Annie, and then the other one you looped it.
Yep.
I'm going to play that one again then.
Yeah, please.
So here we're going to play the loop 1 second. That's interesting because it sounds like an accent on it also. Ani.
Well, the family was German, so that's why the name looks like Anne or Annie, and it's Ani is how they pronounced it. And that was my son investigating, Alex investigating with a group in the ballroom upstairs. They were back towards where the girls' rooms would have been, and the voice came from the hallway. It's now bathrooms, but it's the hallway where their rooms would have been. So
where is this? We didn't even say
Oh,
that. Like,
Oh yeah, by the way,
By the way, this was at Jennie's
place-
house last week.
back it up.
go ahead, Chad.
So this is Booby's Brewery in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. It was a brewery. The history of the place. There's a long history of it. It was Alois Booby bought it in the late 1800s. Made a thriving business. He was a great businessman. He had a brewery, a hotel. He delivered beer all throughout the area. Just really a really well-respected man in the area. And then his family lived at in the hotel for a while. They lived on the second floor of the hotel. Then the third floor was rooms. They had a bar. They had a dining room downstairs, and then they had a processing plant. It was one of they had the first ice machine in the area. Things like that. It was just he was just a well-respected, smart businessman and did a lot. Jamie, I'll let you tag off that.
Yeah, he really diversified his portfolio too. He invested in hotel properties and other homes, locations for people to stay at around the area, not just in Mount Joy. Plus, Mount Joy has its own train station, and it is on the Keystone Line, which runs from Harrisburg to Philadelphia. It is the second busiest train line still to this day in the state of Pennsylvania on Amtrak anyway. And he figured out that he could take his beer on a cart over to the train station, load it up, and take it to Lancaster or Harrisburg and sell it elsewhere. So he expanded his capacity, and then also people would know about the place and get off the train there, come and, get a break and come to the establishment, which is like a block and a half. It's very easily walkable to get to him and in the establishment. So that expanded the business opportunities just exponentially. So, somebody who was a little bit ahead of his time probably. And, he made a product that people wanted. He had a German lager, which, that was the flavor of our area.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Dutch and German immigrants. So he was making something they knew from home, which helped grow the business. Instead of, there was a time when the establishment shut down. It was taken over by a Swedish brewer who made a Pilsner, and that was not the taste. So he didn't last very long and went out of business kind of quickly. So, having the family come back to ownership from that, which they stayed in the ownership until the 1980s. Then the guy who owns it now, his name's Sam Allen. He bought it at a very young age and has tried very hard to keep a lot of the originality of the place and the uniqueness of the establishment in play while still expanding it into more things as well. And the labor of love for Sam, and one of the nicest people I ever meet too. Just the guy that deserves credit for what he's done to keep the place open and afloat.
Don't you love it? Don't you
survive
love it when
COVID,
people step in and save places?
As we're talking, I want to show pictures of the place.
Yeah, please. I went to a bridal shower there. That's how I got introduced to it.
Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's so many things you can do there. There is the catacombs in the basement. Essentially, is 40 feet underground. It's a fine dining restaurant, which you would not expect to find. This is the catacomb, the beer garden.
That's where it was. Yeah,
there you go. And that is the catacombs.
So funny.
And underneath the section that we just had up there are tunnels that go out from underneath that.
In the back left-hand corner, there's a plate on the floor, a steel plate that's 4x4 or so, 3x3 at least, and it leads to another level below that's unfortunately collapsed for the most part. There's a little bit of room to move left and right, but they don't know how far it goes. But the presumption is at least it goes across the street to what used to be the Malt Baron Mansion, which was owned by the original owner. to cross over between the two without having to go out in the street. But you think about bootlegging in the 20s and 30s, and you think about the Underground Railroad, which was very
This is
prevalent
cool.
still, even though Mountjoy's not at the river. People were still traveling from the south to the north. This was a respite spot, and a safe space. So, and all of that stuff is part of the history of the place. And it is on the National Historic Register, which is fantastic. It's preserving the location.
That's cool.
But there's more history than we probably know about there that just never went documented.
It's interesting because during investigations, we expect the family that lived there and the workers, but we'll occasionally get a stray child who seems to be lost from their family, or we'll get soldiers who have passed through there, and we think that connects to that Underground Railroad stop. So,
Interesting.
So,
and the establishment has
I would think the
murder
family
mystery.
mostly. Oh, look at that.
They are.
This is very cool.
I mean, it's a gorgeous place. It's so unique too. I mean, it really is different.
So this place, you have to have a mustache to drink in.
It's the Mustache Club, right?
It's a mustache. You have to have that mustache. It covers
Yeah,
your
you
mouth.
can't get in without it. Sorry.
Well, that bar is still there, and that is one of the spaces we get to investigate in, and it is Eloise Booby's Pride and Joy. That is his establishment, and that is, I'll get a little deep here, but that is a gentleman's bar from the era. You think about the late 1800s, early 1900s, women were not allowed, and at times can be a trigger for activity. And
Sure, kind of like White Hill.
Yep, and the same thing. The basement at White Hill, same thing. The fun fact of this is, Anthony, if you'll go back to that picture, if you notice the chair rail where the gentleman's leaning on, it is brass, and you know why bars had brass foot rails?
Brass
No.
No.
Okay.
Why?
If you were to look behind the gentleman on the left at the floor, there is a 2-inch hole in the floor, which is a drain. Because when men came into this bar, or most bars in the era, they obviously had liquids. Liquids have to vacate at some point.
No.
Oh.
Absolutely. And brass does not corrode. So there you are. That was your spot. If you gave it up, you wouldn't get it back.
Spittoons. I guess
And
not.
spittoons are a different thing, different direction.
Yeah, I guess.
And somebody's job was to eventually come along with a slop bucket and just kind of make sure it all got down the drain. But the drain's still there.
Man.
It's still directly behind where that gentleman's standing on the left. And it's still the original foot rail. And the original bar, that's still there.
Yep.
I'm not sure about a fun fact. That's a little gross fact.
Oh,
it's just
the got to go.
Or like, ew.
That's the best part. If we could do it at the bars nowadays, you don't have to leave your spot, because you know how hard it is to get a drink sometimes?
Yeah, that's the point. If you left the spot, you wouldn't get it back.
Yeah,
So
No, that's not the consensus. Gross is all the women watching are like, ew, gross, yuck.
Yeah, because they don't have one for you. Hey, you guys are jealous.
Yeah.
Well,
But
let me expand this a little bit more, though. So here's the affluence issue.
Oh, please.
The well-to-doness of this family and this business allowed for them to install, to the left of that gentleman on the left, there's a door that you can't see. There's a door going out of the bar on the left, and then further over hard left is a door into the bathroom. And they had the first indoor plumbing in Mountjoy because of their affluence.
Oh.
So, and actually, there's 2 doors into that bathroom.
Yes.
One of them is directly from this bar into the bathroom, which is the men's room. And then there's a second door that goes out to the dining room hallway.
Okay.
So if you were a child and coming in, families could come in and have food and dinner and so forth, and if you were a guest to the hotel, the same thing. You had to, there were not, Wawas to go to, right? I almost said sheets because that's out our way, but whatever your preference is.
I don't have Wawas or sheets.
Wait, what is it?
Yeah, either. Okay, well, I'm a Wawa guy, so
This guy's 7-Eleven, say.
All right, you can't go to the 7-Eleven, or the convenience store or whatever. There was no McDonald's down the street. All your meals had to be homemade in the home, in the building. So, you use the dining room, you need the restroom. That way you don't have to go into the bar. And there were times when, he would come in the bar door and she would come in the side door, which led to the dining rooms. And, he may visit for a while, but, the meals might be had separately. It's very fascinating how dynamic people's lifestyles were back then. That this was acceptable. Like, it seems strange now.
This is the
Oh,
breakdown
yeah.
of the place.
Yep.
Yeah, this break is breaking out by floors, and the catacombs is the lower middle part of that, so it's the underground part. Again, you go 43 feet down, and I think we have an image of the stairs, at least one of the sets of stairs coming up, and how absolutely there it is, how absolutely crazy that looks from the top to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a straight shot, and you can imagine the catacombs back in the day were the finishing process for the brewing and a workspace. Now it's a fine dining restaurant, so not much of what is now was then. But you can imagine trying to bring a keg of beer down there, up or down those steps. It's crazy.
And
it's wood. It's a wood crate, or a wood keg.
right, which they made on site as well. They had a Cooper house.
Cooper House. Yeah.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, there's a Cooper shed. So that was part of it. But can you imagine, like I think you've both been there. I know you have, Jenny, but can you imagine that lit by candle only or oil lamp? Like,
I mean, yeah,
it's
dark.
Yeah, it would have been dark and
very dark,
smoky because they used the cooking oil as the fuel for the oil lamps, because whale oil was not something that would have been expensive and not very readily available. So, dark, smoky, there's chimneys up through there. But just,
it's already dark. Like, I mean, it's not a bright place to begin with.
Absolutely. I don't think any part of the place is brightly lit. That's the interesting thing. It's that makes it feel kind of authentic to a degree.
I agree.
They have electricity, don't get me wrong, and there are lights, but they're all dim bulbs, dim watt bulbs.
But isn't that because you have to make the beer in darkness? Does that have to make a difference? Is there a way to brew beer?
Oh, I guess you'd have to do everything by that light.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't
know how to brew beer, but I know
people making beer by candlelight for hundreds of years, if not thousands. So
yeah,
I guess there's a
imagine
thing to it.
Carrying a keg in the dark. Okay, I'm just kidding. Imagine doing that. Not that I've ever done it.
Teenager doing that to
I know. I was going to say.
Wait a minute. I think there's something here. Do tell.
No.
Metal kegs are different.
Right, a little different. That one, the metal ones have handles. So.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's crazy.
Well, even in the catacombs has two different levels, and one thing I want to note here is that you're 43 feet underground, so there is no light, there is really no interference of other things, and there's really nothing that really interferes with your equipment there. So the signal strength is poor, if not existent, for phones. So it is really a dynamic place to get to investigate because you take away a lot of the stuff that could be interference.
Contamination,
right.
And that space you just showed is the vat room, which is the upper part. And you can imagine back in the day, those are vats that would have had product in it. The tables to the left weren't there, and there was another row of vats in there as well. So product would go in, beer would go in, and occasionally it would need to be turned to keep the sediment from getting too thick. And in the back corner, all the way in the back there, there is belief that there was a worker named Charlie who, while in the process of this happening, this turning, got caught and crushed against the wall. Oh, wow. So there's been a lot of activity back there around him, and at least the activity we can document, with call and response, claiming to be him, and it's been fascinating. The wall has crevices in it. We can put flashlights in it and use the flashlight method. We have a lot of equipment, the usual stuff, REM pods, dead bells. K2s, all of that stuff has been very active in there. And we've actually, right where the picture's been taken, there's a wall there as well, right behind the camera, with another crevice where we have flashlights on both ends, which we use as yes and no. And we've had them go off in between with the REM pod in the middle, and activity as someone would physically pass by to go to the yes or no answer. So just going back and forth. That room has been fascinating for us.
Yeah.
It never, ever disappoints.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the most active area, you think?
It's one of them, certainly. Yeah. And the bar is very active at times, and it comes and goes in the bar, but when it's active, it's active. And the same thing with the ballroom on the second floor.
The dining,
the children's area where you heard the audio clip from. That area has been regularly active as well.
And it seems that different people have different active areas. I would say I've had more active things happen in the dining rooms than the bar, but I know other people have more stuff in the bar than the dining rooms.
Yeah.
So I think it's like I connect with some of the spirits who are there. Mary, who committed suicide, she connects with me and we talk just because I feel the emotions that she has put out. And it's a great place to investigate. Yeah.
I mean, like layers, like I always like to say, layers. But what are the other claims? Like, what else happens in the dining room? Like, what else happens in the?
Well, did you download the video clip by any chance?
Yes.
Which one?
We have everything that you sent us. Yeah.
With the loud noise?
Yeah.
With this, yeah. I'll play that right now.
Would it be okay if we just spent a little bit more time with you?
Whoa.
What was that?
Who did
That was the table. That was the table.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Are you still moving it?
I'm just preventing it from moving.
Was it the table moved?
Wow, I heard it.
So that was in the vat room, and those tables, the floor is not level, but the tables don't move on their own, and that has happened multiple times. So that's a pretty big one. I was in the same room at one point, and we asked for, can you make a noise? Something wrapped from inside one of the barrels, one of the vats. It was really
a couple times that's happened.
Yeah.
You get the wrapping sound
loud.
against it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was loud. Yeah, very.
So
time to go. Yeah, that's.
You have one here with the rope.
Tripwire.
Okay.
Tripwire.
Oh, I agree with Albert because I stayed over. It is much more fun when you stay over.
We say that about Mountjoy in general. So
the
brewery
I
specifically.
may or may not have investigated at the bridal shower.
So yeah, if you want to play the tripwire one.
Yeah, the tripwire.
Yes.
We only have a few minutes left here. We are going to leave. And we'll take a little bit of a break, and one more session will come back. So we're running out of time tonight if you'd like to communicate.
But I can tell you the next session that's up here will be with David, and I know you like David.
That's true.
Can you turn the light on to let us know that you're looking forward to talking to David?
That one down here. You can turn the lights on if you don't want to talk to David. Oh, I can't wait to show him this.
I love it. I love the stuff you say. Like when we play it back, I'm like, oh.
Well, that's it. It's rare when you get direct responses like that, and the opportunity to say yes was there the whole time. So, why, if yes isn't working, try no, just something different anyway, and I think that's
no
where
like
we get held up a lot. We keep going for the same questions. And we had an event with Ron and Lourdes with now TDSE came out, and we had Daryl there back last year in October. And Frankie Adaya, which I know you guys know Frankie very well, came as well. And he and I were chatting afterwards. And I know what he does for a living. And, the idea around a trauma-informed concept around investigating, he presented it and mentioned it, and it blew my mind. I come from the social service world. Lancaster County, where we are, is trauma-informed. So I was in some of that work early on to get it set up. And, we keep asking people to tell us how they died.
Oh, yeah. No.
Trigger number one, right?
Frankie and Anthony are the founders of my group. So from the beginning, it was like, we don't do that, kind of thing. So I was fortunate enough to have them teach me.
The things we ask regularly as investigators are so detrimental to the wellness of the spirit that we may be trying to communicate with. And I wouldn't really want to talk to you either if that was what you keep wanting to know, instead of who I am, what I do, what I like. there's so many better positives that we could be asking to
Right.
try to get better engagement or engagement at all. And sometimes it's not the fact that you're just asking this thing, it's how you're asking it. So, that the approach there was, okay, we want a yes. Well, how about a no? Let's try something different. Let's change the path.
That's so good.
And here
That's
we go.
so good. One of my favorite things to ask. Do you guys have favorite things to ask? I like to ask who was important to you? What was important to you in your life? Who was important to you in your life? And I've gotten, people say their wife's name, that kind of thing. And that's really touching. And I'm sure that's nice, to say, let me tell you who was important to me,
Well, it's like we were saying earlier about going out to Crescent. We just asked people to tell us their stories, and they did. So if you give someone an opportunity to talk about themselves, they will. You just have to present the idea that they can, or give them permission, if you will, whatever it is, however you want to say that. That's all it really takes, and people will go, and you'll get a lot. You'll get more than you expect. You might get too much sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's a good thing.
At the brewery, one of the things I know that's been asked a lot is, did you have any pets? Which we've established that they had a cat, and we've actually picked up. And I can't, of course, I have clips and computers dying, and clips are misplaced. I have a clip somewhere that has a cat meow on it.
Oh, we love ghost animals on this show with Kimm being a veterinarian. And she's just like, we love it, love it, love it.
So we have
we've heard Anthony's dog on TDSC, Cookie, barking. So
the other question that was asked at one point was, do you have a favorite song? Because the family played instruments, they sang, there was all that sort of stuff. And we have a clip of what sounds like someone singing "Jesus Loves Me." That song. So that's a pretty cool clip too.
That's a good question, Adam. What's your favorite holiday?
That gives you also more answers, because then they're a Catholic, some sort, or Christian. So you can start asking questions about religion, the Bible, stuff like that. So that opens up stuff. That's pretty good.
And during like the Christmas season, I've gone in and played German Christmas carols, because the family would have spoken German
in the house,
in their household. So that's another thing, and we've gotten some reactions to that. So
we've had a few German speakers as guests as well,
nice.
And that usually, and especially when they're women, that brings out activity as well. And I think one of the funniest things, and I'm going to say this to be funny, bear with me, but once the same group that had this one German speaker, it was a bridal shower. It might have been your group, I don't know. Maybe. But
I speak Dutch. That is my first language, Dutch, and Dutch. This is my first language.
And that's our area. That's heavily in our.
Yeah, so have me over.
But once they realized her name was Ani, they asked her if she wanted to build a snowman because of Frozen, and then they started Frozen, which was actually brought out some activity.
That's awesome.
The name means Anna. But
that's awesome.
You went, and they might have had a few beverages. Who knows?
I won't sing it, but that's really good.
But it brought something forward. We had activity thereafter. And
that's so cool.
The German speakers do tend to get activity as well. So that makes sense, because that's the language of the house.
For sure. I go to it's called Mizzier Homestead in the Hudson Valley in Wappingers Falls, and they were Dutch, the original owners, and I'll go in that back area and ask questions. And recently I said, "Where are you right now?" And in Dutch, perfect Dutch, it said, "I'm going up the stairs." Like full sentence, perfect Dutch. I got the EVP. Wow. It was like, really good. And actually, it's funny. I've asked questions in Dutch, and we've gotten answers back in English that were correct answers. Like actually intelligent answers. So they understood me, but they answered in English. I find the language thing fascinating. I really do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's
a couple more. You still have like 3 more.
We gotta keep going. Sorry.
Okay.
I go off on tangents.
Yeah, I mean, I won't get these.
So do I.
They're the best.
We could turn on Turn on that rip wire. You want to play that one? Or
Turn on the trip. Sure.
Oh, yeah, I love this one.
okay, it was a triple. Okay,
I'm gonna mute.
it's like all one word, and then they break it up because it doesn't fit in order. I'm trying to make out what it says.
So let's set that as the baseline. Can you turn on the tripwire for me? For yes, thank you. And then can you turn on the flashlight for no?
So that one was right after the word tripwire.
Mhm.
There was a real quick. It was quiet, but it was there.
Okay, we'll do it again then. Here we go. Anybody just raise your speakers.
So let's set that as the baseline. Can you turn on the tripwire for me? For yes, thank you. And then can you turn on the flashlight for no?
It said no, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear the no. Yeah.
It sounds like a kid. No.
Yeah, it does sound young.
Right, like
A couple of those sound very young.
Yeah. So.
See this? I agree with this.
3-4 hour show. Yeah, I know. I got two more. Let me play these, then we can talk the rest of the show.
Yeah, see, Mary Beth hears it. No.
No. Okay, here we go.
I'm disappointed. I've never talked to Uncle Henry. What?
I forgot I was muted.
Yeah, everybody's muted here. That's like,
It
You wanna do it
sounds
again?
like, yeah, if you can play that again, because it sounded like the beginning got cut off.
Yeah, it did.
right, we'll try it again.
I'm disappointed. I've never talked to Uncle Henry. What?
So right after she said disappointed, there was a pause, and then it said something. What did you hear, Jenny?
I'm disappointed.
I'm going to hear it again.
And then right after I'm disappointed, I'm
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah.
One more time. I hear like a little voice again. Like it's a little, like a little voice.
I've never talked to Uncle Henry. What?
Right after that, I heard wait.
Yeah, it's got like a.
I thought
sweet voice.
it was why, in response to the I'm
Why?
disappointed.
Oh, that
That's
makes
what I guess
sense.
too.
We'll play one more time.
I'm disappointed. I've never talked to Uncle Henry. What?
I still hear wait, but
That might have been why. That might have been why we heard the E, like the Y. E, you know, that's the part I heard, the E. Like why.
so it's answering a question.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Yeah, and that was an EVP. Like obviously they were starting to talk over it because they didn't hear anything.
Nothing in the moment.
Yeah. So, so who said I'm disappointed?
That was Melissa.
Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
I know her.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah, somebody said wire high.
Yep.
Okay.
Years ago,
So they're
Melissa.
hearing the E. Yeah, the wire high. Because I can hear the E part.
Well, I
It's
met
a little
Melissa
voice.
at the,
You got a lot of like
Hildeman.
little voices there.
Mm-hmm.
Like kids or women or, you know.
Mhm. I
Sweet
met
little
Melissa
voice.
at the Helderman mansion years ago. They were doing an event, and that's when I think, Boobies, when you guys were first taking over, because she was telling me about that.
Oh, Melissa?
Yeah. She was
Yeah,
telling me about that.
That's really a door opening and a closing and a door opening behind it kind of moment for us.
Yeah.
As the Haldeman used to be our residence location as well, and
Mm-hmm.
the board of directors there decided to stop the paranormal program completely and just focus on
Mm-hmm.
events,
Mhm.
weddings and so forth.
Huh.
And we had a conversation already with Boobies, who we went in. The quick aside here, but it's relative. We went there. We had a meeting with the owner and his marketing director, and we were going just to ask if we could investigate the place. And they actually offered us the residence there. because they had heard of
Nothing
us
like
and
it.
liked the way we investigated the style and so forth. So it really was a serendipitous moment of opportunity closing and opening. And we really had a conversation around whether we could do both locations and how that would look for us as a team to be able to have an event at both places on the same night with, dividing us up, and what we would need and then, hold them and close down. And I still to this day miss that location. It was such a unique spot.
I did
Yeah.
that
History
like
of
two or
it,
three
the
times.
activity in it. We did an episode on it. I led that one, and I think it was one of our longest ones because I just couldn't stop. And we had Jerry and Melissa on as well as guests that night. But it is a near place for all of us on the team who were with us. And sorry, Chad, wasn't your birthday yet, so you weren't there.
No, I do think these things are serendipitous. Like this location I was at this weekend, he is dead set that I'm the only one who can come and bring people in. Like he said, people write to me all the time, they call me all the time, and I say no. And all I did was just go in, be friendly, be professional, ask politely if I could help him uncover some more history there. I asked, what do you want to know about this place? What can I help you find out about this place? And, from then on, he said, you know what, you can bring any group you want in here. It's all for you. So, and I feel like what an honor. I'm so honored,
Yep.
Right?
So it's nice.
It's a responsibility.
It's such a privilege, to be in these buildings at all, first of all.
Yep.
I always feel grateful and honored.
So how many times do you think you pass a place like in a week?
Why don't you guys come next time to this place?
Just say so. Sure.
You're invited. Everybody heard it.
Think about this for a second, though. And anybody out there, anybody anywhere, how many times do you, in a week or a month even, do you pass by a place and you think, I'd like to investigate that, or I wonder if I could ever get there? I do it all the time.
Are you kidding me, Anthony?
All over
right?
the place. And that's the investigative spirit, I think. We're curious. We want to find things, opportunities, and I don't know that you guys do this or not, but we get residential requests, from individuals who have activity in their home, and we will never ever bring that forward. That's private. That's not part of our public stuff. We don't talk about it. We'll never have it on a show unless the guests, we're guests of them and we're willing to share it out loud. But it's a private matter for the family that's dealing with the situation. But that privilege is never lost on us, that someone is willing to trust us to come and help them and at least try to figure it out. And we don't have all the answers. I don't think anyone ever does. But with some good tradecraft and some balanced objectivity, we can try to help figure out what's going on and at least give peace of mind that they're in a safe space still. Because that's the fear, right? My home isn't safe for me anymore.
Take the fear away. That's my goal every time.
Yep.
You should be safe behind your closed door. And,
of course you should.
When you're not comfortable, that moment never leaves you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But speaking of that, I had an Amish one once. Speaking of Amish,
All right.
we had an Amish family call me once. That was fascinating. She was very open about it, so I'm not, giving anything away. They were very, very open. They were right on the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania. Like literally, you could walk across the street, to one state. It was pretty cool. But it was a whole different outlook, a whole different experience. Really cool. And they look just like you, Jamie. No, I'm kidding.
That's it. This is what Amish looks like. Modern Amish.
Yes. Chic, modern Amish.
So,
you want to play want me to play Alex Ballroom?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then that's it on your evidence.
Set it back to purple, and then step away. Back up. Thank you.
Go play that one more time.
Yeah, it's right before thank you.
Set it back to purple, and then step away. Back up. Thank you.
I heard something, but I can't make it out. One more time.
Set it back to purple, and then step away. Back up. Thank you.
Did he repeat purple?
What's that?
Did he repeat purple?
I think it says yeah or yes or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Was it
says
like they were
yeah.
excited?
Yeah. I hear yeah.
So
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
huge
the-
tie. No,
it's not a yes like a. It's
I can hear that. The first time I listened, I agreed with Mary Beth that it sounded like a like a sigh.
mhm.
But I think it's a yeah.
well.
So
Hold on a
go ahead.
second. Think about this. If what we think, if what we believe is in residence, we have two teenageish girls, teenagers, and
That's,
I don't know how you guys are with kids, but have you ever talked to a teenager and you've asked them to do something, and you get the kind of thing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like you're exhausting me, by asking me to do anything.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah.
that's kind of what I
It's about-
feel it is, but it's
Right.
it's an acknowledgement of I'll do it,
Well,
but I
Yeah.
don't want to.
the other part of this is from the same night as the there's 3 clips here that are from the same night as the disembodied voice. And what we've sort of deduced is that the one spirit has a crush maybe on Alex, and so we almost feel like the Ani was her being scolded by her older sister, and so we're not these reactions are like really, I don't know, it may feed into that. It's hard to say. So,
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to ask that if there was
some
spirits of teenage girls.
mhm.
Right before you said that, and because a lot of the answers sound from a girl, maybe
Yeah,
teenage
they do.
or like that.
Mhm.
And the way they answer when you give it something to give you right snap right back at you, like
Yep.
a teenager would.
Yes, I
You
agree.
know? So that was interesting.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. So
I agree. But you can definitely hear it. Like it's
Mhm.
right there. It seems so close to you.
Yep.
yeah, that's awesome.
I love those that are like right on the mic.
Hmm. I've had some other interesting ones up there. I'll typically leave a recorder running in that back hallway, and there's times when there's nobody in the room. And there was one time when it sounded like a group of teenagers came up and were talking. Not like it wasn't clear, but you could tell it was conversation, and it sort of like walked right by the recorder and then kept going, which is sort of hard in that space. But it was just like there should have been no one in the room at that time. It's hard to prove that there wasn't, but there should have been no one up there.
Right.
Other claims throughout the building, we have when you first go down from the bar towards the catacomb, there's a hallway level there where offices are. Like, there's another hallway up to the restaurant. There's a woman in white who's been seen down there
Oh.
in that hallway, and I forget which. It's one of the Paulines, if I remember correctly, Jamie, but not the mother, like the daughter or the granddaughter. There's so many generational names here. It's like Pauline was repeated multiple times, and so the names were just, it was a sign of respect.
Mhm.
The other story that I've heard is that Aloise has been spotted in the restaurant, in the one bar. People said this guy walked through and was talking to him, and they went downstairs and saw the picture, and they're like, "Who's that?" And the tour guide was like, "Well, that's Aloise." They said, "I just saw him over in the restaurant."
He's a
So
very
I
distinguished
see
looking
that.
person.
yeah,
So
That's
he
pretty
stands out.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
Mustache,
ask
beard.
Anthony, like, do you think like people who like Anthony who see spirits, right? Like Anthony describes it as like a fax machine, like it comes up. I always wonder, did you see it or did you see it with your third eye? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
How do you know?
it's a great question.
Like Anthony, like how do you know if you actually are seeing an apparition or you're seeing it in your mind?
How do I
With your
know?
eyes or with your mind?
Because I mean, you can feel it also. It's not just seeing it; you feel, and you feel a presence also being there.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just you're seeing something, but you can feel it also a presence.
Mhm.
I see things when I see things like a fax machine. When you put a fax machine, the light goes by, and copies. That's how I see. I saw from head to toe. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way down to the feet. So some spirits are different, but that's how I see it from head to toe, and that's how you know, I experience it. But when you walk into a room and you see something, or the hairs that go up on your head, your arm or your neck,
Mhm.
whatever you want it. Well, I would say my
Definitely.
no more hair up here that much. But, it's
What about
it's
you guys? Have you seen like a full body apparition? Full bodied, excuse me, apparition?
I have seen two shadow figures, and each one were, I was in a place where it didn't make sense for it to be, other people and so forth. One time I was coming from the bar on the first floor down to the catacombs because there was a group. We use radios because we're so far apart, and they weren't
Right.
responding to the end of the session. And I went down the first flight of stairs, turned right to go to that very long flight of stairs you saw in the earlier picture. And as I started to turn into the doorway, I saw something come down the stairs behind me and just went around the corner, which is where the offices are, a dark figure, and moving very quickly. And I thought, there's no way I wouldn't have heard somebody coming down those wooden steps,
Oh, no way. Yeah.
moving as
I
quick
mean,
as they
that's
were. But I
loud.
went back to look, and the office is there, and I know the staff there enough that I could have popped my head in just to see it. But the door was shut and locked, the light was clearly off. So no, and there's nowhere else to go. There's an exit door with a panic bar to go out to the street level. And there's one more door, but it's secured at all times because that's like the liquor storage for the bar, which is a really fun room to go in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But,
I know what you're saying.
the idea there is just, it couldn't have gone anywhere other than in the door
Right.
to the office, and there was definitely no one there. But and I'm 5 steps away from it to get to it.
Right. And
The
I
second
love
time
that. I love
right.
that because
Right.
I feel like as a science-based person, I feel like it needs to do something that defies the laws of physics for me to
Yes.
really buy that it's really paranormal. Right?
Yes.
Like, because you can, even if you see somebody dressed up in period clothing, that doesn't necessarily mean, hey, somebody could be dressed up in period clothing. But
Right.
when they do walk through a wall, go somewhere that you can't get through, that to me is my definition of paranormal, an apparition.
Yeah, exactly. And agree completely because there
It's perfect.
should be a
It's
person.
perfect.
We're physical forms. We can't do
Right.
these things. There has to be
Right.
something that we're normal, and that would make that paranormal.
Yep. That's my definition. Yeah.
The
I
second
had
time,
an
the same
elevator
idea.
once. I had someone get into an elevator that I exited and I turned around and nobody was in the elevator.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
but
cool.
a solid person, like solid. And there was nowhere to go. End of the hallway, construction going on, nothing, no getting through, cornered and nowhere to go. I turned around, nobody there.
Construction's always a great trigger.
Yeah.
It is.
Full
changing.
solid person, but dressed up, like, black hat,
Uh-huh.
black suit.
Somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Actually acknowledged me. And I was like, hi. And I turned around and I thought, what is he wearing? So I went, nobody was there. Oh. One of
That's
those
funny.
where you keep going and then you sit down, and then you go, holy shit. Like, what just happened?
That's cool.
Right? Takes
So-
you a minute.
Yeah, I've never seen to this day I haven't seen an apparition yet, but someday it's when I'm meant to see it, I will see it. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. And
once you start
probably when
seeing
you're
it,
not
you gotta
looking
let
for
it
it,
put
right?
it down too. Because
Yeah,
once it starts, it doesn't stop.
Alamo.
It's more and more and more until sometimes. I mean, I had to learn to shut everything down because I was getting overwhelmed. I mean, right after 9/11 happened, I'm in the city, so I went down on October 31st. We went there. I went there with some friends that were pagans, and they wanted to do a ritual for the pagans that for Halloween. So I went down there, and I'm Catholic, so I went along because I was curious, and they go, hey, come on, be a friend. And I got outside of the train, and it felt, I mean, right there as we're going up, it sounded like a million people screaming at me at once. Before I got to the wall because everything was still happening, going on there.
Right.
It was
Got to the
still
wall.
smoking
I
at
got
that
all
point.
nervous. We're still smoking, yeah. I
Yeah,
got to
it
the wall
was.
where everybody had pictures of lost ones and everything there, and
Yeah.
I felt so sick, and I just couldn't. I got dizzy and everything because everything was coming at me at once. So I get into they start doing their ritual. They drink something and they pour. They're doing that thing with they have sticks and everything. I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know. But
Sticks.
I'm getting all this stuff coming at me. Then they take salt and they poured it around us. As soon as that salt touched, everything went off. It was like
Wow.
a switch. I didn't hear. I mean, I heard people, but I didn't hear no more anything coming through, like no
That's
voice.
fascinating.
And I didn't see nothing too, because I seen a couple stuff as I was walking there too, and it was crazy. I was shut down for like 6 months after that.
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing or hear nothing, and then it
Interesting.
opened up again. But at that time, I learned to shut down. I learned how to shut it down because you got to learn to shut it off. So when you start seeing stuff and experiencing, you know, everybody's like they're going to train you how to become a psychic and everything else, and they have all these. Do they actually show you how to shut down?
For
Right.
sure.
Shut down.
Right.
You need that shutdown because that will get you sick.
Right. Well, and the
Training.
same with being
Yeah.
empathic and
Yeah.
feeling emotions.
Mhm.
I can, like, if I walk into a place like the Bash where there's so many people and so much energy, I'm
Mhm.
picking up on their emotions plus all the other emotions there from the past.
Yeah.
It is overwhelming sometimes, and
Mhm.
it's like you have to figure out. And it took me a long time to learn how to turn that off. It just
Yeah.
it was hard, and people who don't have that sense don't understand what you talk about, and it's just
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to be around people who aren't negative because you feel
Right.
it.
right.
Sure.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the ability you have you to learn to shut it down.
We're
so
happy here. You're
just
in a
to-
safe space here.
Yeah.
just to energize your head.
We
and
are some
everything.
shiny, happy people at this
Yeah.
play at this podcast.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, like Mary Beth's comment was she can't go to malls anymore. Like I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's got to be really tough.
I mean, you know, if I grew up around 9 cemeteries, and you know that's as a kid growing up, that's where you go. You know, we had Houdini, you know, Lucky Luciano and Mae West and all these big names, and it's just a cemetery. So, but I was going during the 70s. The parks were all at the 70s. There was a lot of people in the parks shooting needles, and there was needles all over the parks. So, as
Right.
kids, we used to go into the cemeteries.
Yeah.
There was some open fields, and there was open fields. We used to play football there, baseball, whatever we did, and we had, you know, that's what we did. So growing up like that, you get experience, everything coming to you. Cemeteries, they say, are dead. Cemetery, yeah. I just made a pun. Yeah. You know,
Good one.
not
Yeah.
even thinking
We're
of
dying to
it,
get in there.
but I had activity there and stuff. So you learn,
Mhm.
you know, you have to learn to live with a lot of this stuff that happens, and you just, you know, and I didn't learn how to shut down until like later on in life.
Yep.
You know, so that's
That's
what
rough.
happened. You know, so yeah, we got 7 minutes left in the
Yeah.
show.
So before the end of the show, yeah, we shut down. We have a
Yeah.
time limit. We're like we
Yep.
can't go over. So before
Yeah.
the end, one of the things we want to know is where can we find you? What's next for you? And all that.
Jamie,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
pick-
You're better.
You got this better than I do. So
Uh,
This is interesting.
well, you can find all our information on Linktree/Paranormal Lens. Everything's wrapped up there. All our social media, all our websites and stuff like that. We're on every Tuesday night, but then we're streaming the next day on Apple, all those things. Paranormal Lens podcast. We are at Booby's Brewery typically once a month doing public investigations. We are sold out for this month, but there's tickets for August, September. We've got two investigations in October.
That's a theater background right there.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, check out the Boobies website, and that'll get you to the investigations.
To be clear, it's BUBES.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't spell it a different way. You'll find something. It's probably not safe for work.
Yeah, you don't want to look that up.
Yeah, no, some different type of website would come up.
Yeah, you will
And
definitely
we
find
got
something
through the
else.
whole show without that. Yeah, exactly. Without any, I'm sure you hear a lot about that.
And
But
that's
yeah,
a running joke there, of course, too.
BUBE.
But and that's the family name, and that's the uniqueness of having the establishment still be under the original naming. It's not changed through the years, so it's iconic to the area. People know where it is. But with public investigations, they are ticketed events. So but if you decide that it's the last minute to come, you can get a ticket at the door kind of thing as well, as long as we're not sold out. So we do have some capacity issues as far as how many people can be in the building. But and you can stay there. There is a hotel level with single rooms, and then across the street there's an Airbnb owned by the property. This is the Malt Baron Mansion I spoke of earlier, where you can literally have. It's a nicer space. It's a little bit more accommodating for larger groups and so forth. But there's definitely stuff you don't have to get a hotel somewhere else. And if you are staying on property, especially in the upstairs hotel level, you can investigate after we're done because you're in the building.
I've done it. I recommend it. So good.
Yep. That's a unique experience there.
Yeah,
I mean, who doesn't love it when you can investigate where you sleep?
I never seen the place. I haven't been there yet. But
well, then
you're
let's
welcome
go.
anytime. Let us know. We can get you in. Don't worry. We got a guy.
Yeah, they know somebody. They know a guy.
Got a guy that knows a guy.
He's like, you got to talk to Anthony like that. Hey, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Those stairs don't. Those stairs don't look too good to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know about those stairs.
There are a few of them. Yes.
Yeah.
What about Gettysburg? You'll be there. That's next week. 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 weeks.
We'll be stopping by. I don't know if we'll be there together, but I know I'm stopping by at some point. So.
It's a busy day, so with an investigation of our own that night. So that's our sold out event on the 26th. So,
well, come to the Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians location. We have a table.
It's a good intentions, but I don't know what the execution is going to look like thing yet.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. It's a lot.
It always seems that it falls on these weekends for us too, like every year. So we always have to make choices. Chad drives 1,000 miles a day apparently, and he's everywhere. He's our social butterfly with events too. So
that's Jennie.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's me. I'm not a social butterfly, but I do a lot of investigating. Like this weekend, I have 3 to choose from, and I'm like, what do I do? Yeah. So
that's a fun and a good problem, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good problem.
Yeah, what a good problem to have. Exactly. But so hopefully we'll see you there, because we'll be there. And if you are there, just stop and see Anthony's drawings and come see us.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my drawings all set up.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna that's gonna be a great weekend. It's gonna be a great weekend.
It's coming up. I can't believe it.
Yep. Week from Saturday.
I mean, we're talking about Gettysburg. It's like,
yep.
For sure. And so once again, Tuesday nights 9:00.
Yep.
Tuesdays 9 are live every noonish or so afterwards the next day on all the major streaming services. And again, Paranormal Lens, we're the only one there. You can just hit the search bar on any of those, type it in, you'll find us. There's 110 back episodes to go through, so there's a few. But you will. So that's and we say this all the time, like there are no walls to the paranormal. We all can do this indefinitely. The topics we come up with, the places, the people, it's a beautiful thing. And I think the only thing that's going to ever stop us is ourselves with time and energy.
It's
Eastern time.
It's Eastern time. Yeah.
Eastern time.
Yeah, he's in Texas.
And if you leave us, Adam, I'm not going to be happy. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
It's so funny because I'll be on our podcast and I'll get alerts on my phone that you guys are starting, and I'm like,
well,
all right.
I'm giving you an alert right now. We're going to be ending.
It's my Wednesday morning routine when I'm like doing my cleaning or doing my stuff Wednesday afternoon. Usually when I'm doing dishes, I put it on.
That's the beauty of a podcast. It goes wherever you want.
It's the best.
Okay.
It's the best.
It just goes on.
You want to learn something? Watch Paranormal Lens. Oh yeah, we got like
you.
3 seconds. Okay.
Yeah,
Any
well,
last words?
again,
Just
Thank you
kidding.
for having us. This has been a blast.
Oh,
Really
you're
appreciate it.
welcome. You're so
I
welcome.
wanna-
We've been looking forward to it. Thank you,
Okay, I
Chad.
want to thank you guys for coming on. Thank you very much. We had a great time with you. I want to
We had
thank
so
the
much fun.
audience, and I want to say, remember, you gotta be safe out there. You want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Ciao, familia. Forget about
guys.
it.
Thanks for coming.
All right.
Hey.
Right
Good
on.
night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Hey, how you doing?